Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Child of Light. I'm Koala,
I am Bear.
and as house cleaning, I'm not gonna even say as per usual, house cleaning, housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Anyway, so you had a story to tell that you were saving from last episode?
Yes. So you asked me about story. It's not a personal story of mine. However, I found this very, very crazy. Here, what? Still can't get it?
No.
Wow.
I feel like
It's not meant to be.
Maybe, I don't know. I guess the thing is if you look at it, I'm actually almost done with this track.
Yeah.
But I'm not even close to being done for the other ones, so I guess I'll just have to
It's gonna sound awful, but I was thinking no tumble for you, like no soup for you.
no trouble for you.
No tumble for you. Alright. So speaking of that terrible Chinese accent, here's my plug. Segue. I read this article that in China, okay, if you're ever in mainland China, do not get hit by a car.
I mean, you wouldn't want to get hit by a car no matter where you are.
Exactly, and I wanted you to say that, and here's the reason why. In China, if they run you over with the car, for instance, right?
Right.
Obviously, you don't want to have it in general.
Right.
In China, the laws state that if you hurt someone, right, you have to pay their medical bills for life. But if you kill them, it's a one-time fee. So if they run you down, they will literally put the car in reverse and run you down again. And the reason why I read about this is because there was this, I believe it was like an elderly woman, 60, 70 years old, got hit by a car, fell down. Tons of people were watching this. Like, tons of people on the street watching this.
And considering that it's China, like, there's probably, like, at least 15 people recording it at this point.
Yeah,
too.
it was. I heard it was, like, 16 or 20, 30 people or so. That's a wide range. But still, that's a number of bystanders. And I get there's a bystander effect and all of that. But no one did anything while the lady in the car literally looked in the rear view, put it in reverse, and ran her over again.
Did the lady actually die?
Look, you would probably want to be dead at that point. I'll tell you that much.
Well,
but like I don't know because I don't remember that detail. What I did focus on and the point I want to make is that it's unbelievable that the laws are structured that way because, I mean, think about it. If you were passing a law like this, no one stopped to say, man, this is not, this is going to have unintentional
effects, yeah.
Repercussions that we didn't think about at the time. But it's pretty obvious that if you structure your laws that way, look, people are going to want a discount.
Right.
Right? Even if that's the expense of someone's, I don't know, life.
Yeah, that's pretty... I mean, the beginning part of that story is, like, it's interesting because it's like, yeah, if you injure somebody, then, like, you have to pay their medical bill for life.
Yeah.
You feel like it would be the other way around. You kill somebody, then you have to pay the family, like, money, like, sort of like alimony.
Yeah, like a
for
compensation
life.
for
Yeah,
that.
for compensation.
Yeah.
And then, like, if they get injured, you just pay, like, one upfront fee. Be like, okay, they broke their leg, like, $5,000.
Yeah.
Like, however much the rate would be with or without insurance. But, like...
That's pretty crazy, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I told the story that way, too, because it's like, what?
There's something else interesting. There's another law I heard recently that's actually kind of interesting. But, Jen, where did you learn magic with such speed? Do you want to read Jen, or should I just read Jen?
Sure, I'll read Jen. From the book of Pasion. Spells. I can't English. I love to read.
Anyway, so before I go into my story, before I go into my story, there's actually a side quest here. There's a little light guy who's just like Nicholas.
Yeah, he looks the same.
Nicholas, help me. How did you know my name? You and me, we are both elemental. Sparks of light summoned from the ethereal plane. Seriously? I don't remember any plane. You are young, just born. Bright lights like you always forget. Oh, to return that everlasting morn. It is glorious, brighter than bright, crackling with dancing light. And more fireflies like me live there? Thousands, all our brothers and sisters fair. I miss it so. A Piscean enchanter called me here. I don't know. That's how
I can't English, man, so...
I mean, it's interesting. It's always one of those things where you say it in your head one way, but once you say it out loud, it's like, that doesn't...
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
I don't know if that's right. An ogre stole him to the deep. From the Queen of the Night I escaped. But to make the jump home, I am too weak. Ignicholas, I need your aid. You see? We must channel our power and summon more elementals to help me.
Ooh.
Oh, he farted.
He farted. I was gonna say, that's not his final form.
Yeah. They have risen.
Where?
I am so tired. What?
What?
They cannot hear me. The elementals are scattered. Shit, I can't English either.
Say what again? I dare you.
I doubled.
Do they speak English? Do they speak English in what?
Guidance from you is required. These lost lights gather to me. I sense 2 in the forest, 2 in the plains, and 2 at the sea. Sparks like you encircling shrines. With their power from this world, I can break free. Aurora, I want to help. Can we?
Nicholas, we will bring them back, certainly.
So we got a new side quest, Lost Lights. So essentially, that that shrine I stopped the last episode at, each of these shrines there will be a new elemental that we have to go see. So randomly throughout our quest, we've been seeing a lot of them, and you'd usually like shine a light on them, and you think like, what are these for? They're clearly there for a purpose, and now they actually have a purpose.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I won't be going into them all where they all are immediately, because I feel like if anything, it just takes us on like a magical ride across the entire land at once. But actually, should we or should we just continue on with the story?
It's up to you, actually. If there's I would say if there's a lot of little things that you want to point out during the side quest, if there's a lot of value add, if you will, I'd say do it.
Not entirely. I would say I'm gonna finish this area and then I'll do it.
Okay.
But as far as weird laws go, there's actually, I don't know if you watched the Oscars or not. The Oscars actually happened this past Sunday, as we're recording this.
Congrats, Leo.
Congrats, Leo. You don't have to have any more Leo wins an Oscar memes.
Yeah, the memes are all dead though. So
yeah.
Some people were upset about that.
Yeah, like sort of like that GIF where the person was, they're pushing the cart, like Indiana Jones, at the end of Indiana Jones, they put all the memes in a box and they put it in a cellar with all the other boxes.
I agree with that statement, except you said GIF instead of GIF.
GIF, whatever.
I
always think of, yeah.
I actually got into an argument about that.
I actually have to remember that I have to call it like the peanut butter, like Jif peanut butter.
Yeah.
You know what? I have to remember it like that.
Can I just talk about this real quick? This is like an age-old debate, right?
Okay.
Because people are like, oh, don't say it like the peanut butter. There's a reason why it's JIF, and then this is GIF. No, okay. You can name, for instance, right? Okay. You can name your kid whatever you want and have any pronunciation you want, okay? I have heard the craziest things. Remember Ladasha?
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
Kashira.
Kashira. But for real, like L-E-A, La-dash-a. Okay.
Right.
You can name your kid whatever you want. All right. So if you invent something and give it a name, you could call it whatever you want.
Right.
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 The inventor himself, and I don't have to provide sources because you literally can just Google it.
Right.
The inventor himself calls it like the peanut butter. J-I-F, even though it's spelled G-I-F. He says it's pronounced Jif, and he wanted to go on record for people to know that's how you pronounce it. Okay, now I'm not going to argue with the laws of English, alright? And I'm not going to argue with the guy, okay? But all I know is that if you make something up, if you created a format which like everyone around the world uses, you should at least get the title of calling it whatever you want and having everyone else follow suit. Right. That's just my 2 cents.
Right. That's a fair point.
Yeah, because I got into arguing with that, and like I brought up those points, and like everyone just like ignored me. Mm-hmm. Fine, you can have your opinion, ignore me, but like, he invented.
But don't ignore my opinion.
Yeah.
No, it's Isn't that annoying though? When you have like not necessarily you have the right answer, so to speak, but you have the answer to a question that is almost like by all means it's correct, and then the people just ignore you because it's not what they think.
Yeah, it's like, dude, if you invented, right, again, a file format that millions and billions of people use,
Yeah.
that's you have the right to call it whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, the only example I can think of is like, there was that book that we had to read. I think it might have been a Battle of the Books book, but there's a book called Frindle where the kid called it his pen a Frindle and it became like a thing.
Oh yeah, it became a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like that. I mean, like, the dude calls it a Frindle. Are you gonna get mad because he called it a Frindle? Well,
Yeah.
being the people in that book did, but like,
I remember that one. That was an interesting one. I remember the cover too. It had like him holding
holding
the
the
pen.
pen, like the whole perspective thing.
Right.
But yeah, no, you right. It's just a bad habit of mine.
It's fine. No, I don't want. I'm not calling you on it. It's just like, I don't know. I've had that discussion way too many times.
Right.
Discussion.
And then the person's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's GIF.
Yeah.
And then it's why does it always end up being like this, like
Remember
a
at
basic
Dom's
sorority
place?
white girl or whatever?
Yeah.
Do I remember what?
That happened at this place too. Remember, we was like at dinner afterwards, and we also had the same discussion. You don't remember? It's fine.
No, I'm trying to remember if we actually told this story on here.
No, we didn't. But I mean, it's the same thing. It's just like the.
Oh, we had that GIF discussion.
Yeah, discussion. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well,
But
I
my
just
point
remember
being is that,
I just remember that time I essentially got yelled at for almost not having a Legend of Zelda game on my Wii U.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh, wait, actually, you want to tell that one too?
Do
All
I?
right. Anyway, let's backtrack. So yeah, let's just end our discussion about GIF versus GIF. And you were talking about, let's backtrack. You were talking about laws that were kind of crazy.
Let's just talk about the Legend of Zelda story because it's shorter.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so Legend of Zelda story. We're hanging out with a friend of ours and his girlfriend, as we learned throughout the night, was actually a pretty big fan of video games.
Yeah.
Which
it kind of surprised me a little bit.
yeah, it did too.
Because at least she didn't. I don't want to say seem like the type, but she gave no inkling whatsoever that she was interested in video games
Right.
at all.
It just kind of came out of the blue, and we're like, oh, okay,
It's like,
that's
oh wow, yeah.
cool. So,
Because we didn't know her that well, you know.
yeah, we didn't. That was her first. That was my first time meeting her.
Exactly.
So, so yeah, she started talking about video games, and we started talking about it, and she's like, yeah, what consoles do you guys have? And we said, we have 360s and stuff like that. And I say, yeah, the newest console I have is a Wii U. And she's just like, oh, do you have the new Zelda game? And then me being me and knowing about video games for all consoles, I was just like, new Zelda game. She's like, yeah, there's a new Zelda game on it. Do you have it? I'm like, no, because there is no new Zelda game. She's like, yeah, there is. You have to have it. And I'm like, well, I have a Zelda game, but it's not the newest Zelda game. And she's like, no, there's a new Zelda game. And I'm like, all right. In my head, I'm thinking like, all right, I'm gonna need to put this down. Old Yeller, I need to put her down.
Well, and again, it was surprising because you didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't see it coming.
Like, a lot of other topics, she was not disinterested, but she didn't have that excitement, enthusiasm for. And then
Right.
when she brought up
video games,
right, it was just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it was like the entire time, I was like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, yeah. You have to have Legend of Zelda.
It's like, what?
Okay.
Even I took a step. I was like, whoa, all right.
Yeah, no. When she said that, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need to like roll my sleeves up, get a little dirty here. So I was just like, yeah, I was like, there is a new Zelda game coming out. There's actually 2 new games, Legend of Zelda games coming out, but neither of them have come out yet at this point, because at this point it was around Christmas time. I was like, the only Legend of Zelda game that has come out thus far on the Wii U is a remake of Wind Waker. And if you by new Zelda game you mean that game, then yes, I have that game.
Right.
And then she just stood there. She's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yep." I'm just gonna throw all the knowledge I have at you right now,
Right.
so there's no misunderstanding at all. This is what I know. Look it up. Try me.
Yeah.
Try me. Size me up if you want. But you will not get. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right. And that's like it's like the classy way of like one step shy of shutting someone down and doing it in a classy way.
Right. By the way, this enemy I've highlighted here is my least favorite enemy in this game.
Okay.
And feel free to name it. It is my least favorite enemy in this game.
Okay.
I fucking hate it.
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Because you don't like chocolate.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Fun. I don't know if I talked about this before, but I have. Because the girl walked away. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm bringing all the references I can.
I fucking hate chocolate.
There you go.
Especially the ones that look like fucking that.
Yeah.
Like that.
But remember a couple episodes ago, my name game was like totally off point. I feel like today is.
You're on point today. You're on point. Yeah. Fuck this thing.
I was proud of myself. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I hate it is just because of the fact that, like, not only... The first time I played it, I just kept all of my characters having the same oculi the entire game, and I just upgraded them as the game went on.
Right.
So, I always kept Aurora as a fire person, just because of the fact that I always traveled around different places, and I always thought... I didn't know what was coming up, so I thought, at least keep one person with fire, and Aurora was always on the forefront of my team. So... Yeah, that was... So having that and fighting against something that's fire resistant doesn't help, one. Two, it has high physical defense, right? Three, if you don't have some sort of water resistance to it, which my Aurora at the time when I was playing didn't, it hits hard, has quite a bit of speed, and it has high physical resistance. So even if you give your characters... an oculi with like an emerald to give it damage, like it only does 26, and it has high HP relatively speaking, so the only way to do good amount of damage is by having Finn on your field and always charging up lightning exclusively for it, and then even then it takes like 2 to 3 good lightning hits to kill it.
That must be a little frustrating.
And then I forgot, it also randomly paralyzes you. Because fuck that fucking chocolate.
Oh,
excuse my language.
True, but
fuck it.
Yeah, but you gotta admit that was some good naming.
That was good. That was actually smart.
I'm done. I'm done gloating. That was it.
So now the Law story. So the Oscars happened recently, and I think that one of the movies that got a lot of recognition, and I think it actually won one of its awards, one of the Oscars for like documentary or something like that, was about Pakistan. Did you watch the Oscars?
No, I saw the results. But yes, I saw the award for documentary.
Yeah, so the Oscar for documentary was for a documentary about Pakistan and its honor law. Do you know about that at all?
No.
So
explain to me.
I actually like the thing was is that when I never heard of the movie until the Oscars, which I interpret that as you will, but I never heard of the movie, and then I looked it up, and I looked, because when the person was accepting the award, they started talking about, the whole problem with the laws and the government, and like how hopefully this will, expose it a little bit more and like bring a little bit more awareness, which I feel like it did. Mm-hmm. How old are you, Jed?
I'm almost 10.
Sigh. How quickly the youngins replace you again. Anyway, essentially I looked it up because I didn't know the specifics behind it at all. And apparently in Pakistan there's a law called it's a law, but like essentially they cut corners around it. Like it's one of those things where they there's like loopholes in the system, so like it can be abused.
Right.
So the honor law is essentially that, let's say for example, the thing is that because it is a majority Muslim country, they have certain laws that aren't entirely are kind of dated. You know what I mean? There's a lot of women's suppression and stuff like that.
Yep.
So what happens is that in that culture, it is okay for like the men of the family, like the adults, like a male, like the dad, for example. Let's say you were my kid, right? You were my daughter, right? And then if you did something that I didn't like, I could just beat the shit out of you and potentially kill you.
Right.
Right? And then you wouldn't be able to do anything about it just because of the hierarchy of the culture, right?
Right.
What happens is they have something called an honor law, which essentially says that like if you kill somebody, right? If the family of the victim chooses to forgive you, then you're pardoned. Right?
Yeah.
So like let's say, but the thing is that there's a loophole in the system. Sorry, I'm not moving or anything, but I'm kind of getting into the story and making sure I say it right. But essentially, if for example I kill you, right?
Yeah.
You're my daughter. I kill you, right?
Yeah.
I murder you in cold blood. If the rest of the family accepts that I killed you, I'm off.
But then like what if you persuaded the other family to accept it?
What do you mean? Like
me pressured them, like
yeah, like if I pressured if the thing was is if you did something that the entire family didn't like and then I killed you, then everyone would be like, all right.
Yeah, but
and then you're scot free, and then I'm scot free.
Right, but what if you like threaten to kill another person, and and in exchange, if you don't accept that, I will kill you. If you don't accept that I did the first killing, I will kill another.
But the thing is that that's part of the point.
Yeah,
that's part of the point.
Crazy.
Like as long as you can get whoever the family is that you killed, like to be like, all right, you're forgiven, right? You're scot free. No penalty, nothing. You just walk.
Wow.
So what happens is that the documentary was about this girl who wanted to marry the guy she loved, right? What happened is the guy she loved was not the one that the family accepted because they wanted her to marry a guy in a family that they already prearranged, and like it was arranged marriage, and like it was a family of higher status and everything. So essentially it was in their better interest for the family for her to marry this other guy. Right. She wanted to marry the guy she loved, right? And then she wasn't going to accept it any other way.
Right.
So the dad and the uncle murder her, or like are trying to murder her. Like they take her out, they beat the shit out of her, right? And then they shoot her in the face.
Yeah.
Right? Leave her by the river to die.
Yeah.
But the thing is they shot her, but luckily somehow based on like the way she like recoiled when like they shot the bullet or whatever, she ended up like getting hit in the cheek instead of like through the skull. So she lived. And then she ended up crawling out of the riverbed or whatever, right? That she got left to die. Went to a police station and got them arrested, right?
Yeah.
But then the thing was that because of familiar pressure from her family,
right,
to forgive them, she had to forgive her dad and her uncle, so they got away scot-free.
That is just so broken.
So, like, you got almost murdered by your family members, and then you have to say, okay, because your family pressured you, because that's how the society is, and you have to accept it.
That is...
And they get away without, like, nothing. Not like no slap on the wrist, nothing. They spent a night in jail, and that was it. For attempted murder.
Yeah.
On their daughter / niece.
Premeditated and attempted murder.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
Yep.
Wow. I kind of want to watch the documentary.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
But like I didn't know about that, but like that's a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know about that either.
Like that's part of the here's the thing. I'm not gonna hit down and say like, Muslim, the religion of Islam is a bad thing or anything, because no religion is inherently bad. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like in this case it's more of like it's a combination of both legal and religious reasons why this whole thing happened.
Right.
But like at least my 2 cents worth is this. Like, yeah, they made that law. I don't know when that law was put forth, but by no means should that be legal anymore.
No.
That's the thing, is that like after this movie got released and got all the attention that it did, the prime minister of Pakistan was like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna look into how to change this and stuff like that, just because of the fact that because it's more centered around like Islamic law. The thing is that it's going to be strongly opposed by literally everybody in it, because everyone is Islamic, and because it's an Islamic patriarchal country, any sort of thing that is against their religious rights, they're obviously going to put it down. Sort of like in America, everyone's gun heavy, so if you take away guns, sort of like Obama, what he said, he's just I want to put more regulation on guns. Everyone's like, no, they cried, they got their kid got shot, You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh no, like, you can't do this to me, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, that law shouldn't exist. It has no place in this world. It has no place in this age. That's me.
No, I agree.
That's my 2 cents worth. I don't feel like that belongs in the 21st century.
No.
I don't care if you go by the Islamic year. I know with Iran they have their own year counter. Even if, doesn't matter what year it is. I don't care if it's 21st century or like the 14th century based on like what calendar you go on.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. That does not belong in this
think,
day and age whatsoever. Because that is fucked up in all measures.
Yeah.
Hey Angus, do you wear all that armor? Why do you wear all that armor? Without it, I'm shorter than you. Is it true? Does he have a sense of humor? Ask him. No, you.
That's fine.
But yeah, that's the law story. So I mean, fucked up laws, right?
I actually got, well, not totally related in the sense of laws, but I do have another thing I want to talk about, but I will save that for next episode.
Yeah, because we're actually kind of going a bit long.
Pretty. Okay, yeah, we should probably end this.
Yeah, we should probably end it. So anyway, enough serious talk. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe, share, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so anyway, catch you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.